live again. So we're here for the 74th installment today of Nansen Office Hours. GM, thank you for joining us. Drop your GMs in the chat. Hopefully I can see it again. I'll look in a second. I'm Alex, the other one, the Nansen Intern. And then today we have the genius and the Alameda.
Stop it.
Alameda attribute or something. That's what I need to think of. Barto. So if you're new to Office Hours, every Wednesday we do a Nansen and Chill session. We look at new features, answer some questions, hopefully correctly, and then we give some alpha leaks as well. So make sure that you subscribe, turn notifications on so you don't miss out on any content. We have a lot more now as well. We've got clips going out, YouTube Shorts as well. So yeah, and if you'd like to try out Nansen, use the link below. There should be one to sign up to Nansen Lite for free. So, Barto, how are you today?
Doing very well. You know, things aren't going as well market-wise, but there's still a lot of fun to be had. A lot of good things out there. Today we're representing Perpetual Protocol, GM to Perpetual Protocol, and so GM to all the good Perpetual protocols out there.
Nice.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff going on. Even though markets are a little down, to say the least, but there's fun to be had. So
that's why I got my WAGMI cap on today.
It looks great. It looks beautiful.
I knew that you'd have some cool merch on it. You see that?
Oh wow, yeah, that looks nice. That looks nice. It's getting bad. I need like another closet for all the swag that I have. It's
Did we give you a cap or not yet?
I don't have a cap, no.
Wow. Okay. We need to get you a cap hopefully.
I'm gonna have to come to Singapore, knock on Alex's door, and get a cap. So
yeah, I'm sure that we'll get you on. Yeah. So today we're going to be discussing quite a lot of things. I think you've got some stuff ready to talk.
Oh, we've got so much Nansen alpha here. It's going to be. We have so much product alpha. It's going to be crazy. Can you see my screen?
I'll show it in a second.
GM Small Yoda. How's it going? You're good?
Yeah.
All right. So actually now that there's like zero farming opportunities, I've been spending, I think one day I spent like 6 hours in Nansen, just like cruising around, trying to figure out essentially different ways to use the product and different life cycles. So now you hear a lot of people just talking about like, oh, how I'm in X% stables, I'm 50% stables, I'm 20% stables, whatever. And the idea here is that this money either has to move back into some sort of coins or this money has to go somewhere, right? Because people get bored just sitting on stables all the time and, they have to do something with it. So I don't think we've talked about Stablecoin Master yet. And by the way, Nelson and Alex, great job last night. You guys did a great job on Wednesday. You're gonna have your own TV program. It's like every night at 8:30. It's gonna be like,
I don't know about TV program, but
you say that now. So coming to Stablecoin Master, you can see a lot of just like where stablecoins are parked, right? So this gives you an idea of like, okay, what are people doing with their stables? Where are they putting them? So obviously Binance, has a lot of stablecoins, right? Largest exchange, people put it in. Then you can kind of see some other familiar faces like Hot Protocol, Curve. Obviously, people are parking their money there. DYDX. This is kind of like a good way to assess sort of like the crypto economy of where people are putting their stablecoins. And then what's kind of very helpful here is you can see, okay, buy different type of coin. So let's say, you have Tether and you need to put Tether somewhere, okay, Binance, Curve has a ton of Tether. But what's kind of funny is, Binance obviously has a huge incentive to push their BUSD products. They have a lot of BUSD. So it's kind of a good way to show, okay, where's money going and then, where it is. So
it was amazing. I looked at this, like I expected exchanges to have much higher stable balances, I have to admit.
Than
I saw.
I think what's going on here is it's a combination of different exchanges, probably like moving stables around to like unmarked wallets. And you could probably, I could probably look at that because this doesn't really make any sense.
No, that's what I thought. There must be loads of wallets.
Yeah, exactly. They're like kind of like shuffling it around. But if you go to notable wallets, what you can see here is some really nice things around, okay, where is money flowing to? Where are people like putting their money? Let's just refresh this. Oh, that's nice. I'm gonna wait. Let's wait it out. This is a 1-year-old MacBook Air, and you think that it would actually load quicker. Let's just reload. But essentially, like what you want to figure out is like, okay, obviously there are huge amount of stable coins flowing around. If we can see who is moving stables where and what they're doing with it, there's obviously like this gives us a couple opportunities, right? Because one, we can figure out where do we want to put money to farm, right? Like let's say you had USDC and you had $1,000 of it. Okay, where should I put that to farm? Or if I had USDC and I wanted to play a possible airdrop opportunity, where should I put it? So from going from exchanges to notable wallets, we can then drill down to see, okay, like what are kind of like the contracts that have the most amount of stables? So no surprise, right? Like Binance comes to the top again. But okay, now you have things like Maker, Polygon Bridge, the Tether Treasury. Like you have this Curve swap pool, Aave, right? So once again, we're kind of like diving a little deeper onto like the crypto economy and to see, okay, in this Aave lending pool, there's $1.2 billion, and it's in the past, I believe this is 7 days, they've gained over $600 million. Compared to the AVAX bridge, it's actually lost $144 million. So you kind of see this interesting trend here where, and this could be just Aave v3, that's people are migrating from Aave v2 to Aave v3, but you can kind of see this people putting money into safer assets. And full disclosure, I do own Aave, but you can kind of see like, okay, Aave's picked up $600 million here, but AVAX bridge has lost money. And you can do a much further dive into this to see like, okay, where are people losing money out of AVAX? But, clearly people are sort of shifting into maybe like safer assets, like maybe they're going to Aave. And if you keep going down this just rabbit hole, you can kind of see some like interesting names pop up. So you have like Genesis Trading OTC desk here. So, maybe you do a filter for them to see, okay, where are they moving their money? Because maybe they're facilitating like a big USDC trade or something along those lines. You have Kraken, Crypto.com. This is pretty interesting right here. So the BitDAO Treasury owns, $344 million of stables. What is very interesting, and Nelson did this very briefly last week, and I thought of it on my own, so I'm going to give Nelson credit. But what you can do, this is where things get very interesting, is you can go to token God mode and do like USDC or USDT. And to be honest, I never thought to do this before. And I don't know why, like a month ago, I had some USDC and I was like, okay, where am I going to put it? So I was just kind of curious to see, where this is all going. Here, it gets really nice because you can very deeply dive into what exact smart contracts themselves have USDC. So if you go to top balances, once again, okay, Maker, okay, maybe there's this like opportunity to stake USDC and DYDX. So this view here, you're kind of getting you're getting a lot of information. One, you're getting like, okay, what are the biggest possible farming opportunities or staking opportunities? Because you can see all these smart contracts here. These new arrows are very good, by the way. So shout out to the team. So you can see, okay, optimism, then like Tokemax USD staking. So maybe from there, you know, let's say you have extra USDC, you're looking for somewhere to put it. Okay, maybe we can go into Tokemax and see, you know, who the top depositors of USDC are, or, you know, what's the rate that you can get from USDC. And you can kind of see, you know, okay, who else is going into it? Are there any smart money going into it? Here you kind of see a bunch of Gnosis safe proxies. So people are probably like depositing into Gnosis and then there. But here you see this person, EIP1559 user, they probably, you know, like just transferred a bunch of money from an exchange, and then that's their only transaction. So yeah, so someone pulls $5 million out of Coinbase, goes into Tokemax for $5 million. So this is probably someone very big. They're just trying to hide like who they are because they're, you know, coming from Coinbase. It gets pretty interesting when you use filters. So something that I was doing the other day was I was just looking at who comes up, and I'm just like hitting the arrows like one by one.
Ooh.
And I noticed this interesting thing, NBA Top Shot, which is yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So this is like really good on a couple levels, because one is it shows the transparent nature of a blockchain, right? Because like this almost becomes an audit of NBA Top Shot, because and then if you go to USDC, you can do wallet profiler for token. So Top Shot, it first launched in I want to say 2019. It's first launched in 2019. I was like somewhat of an early adopter. I, you know, bought like one or two in this period just for fun, and then things got crazy.
NFT trading cards, right? I never really looked.
Yes. Yes. So they are. I wonder if we can go to. They are, yeah, NFT trading cards where you get like the video of the actual card, of the actual like play. It's very well designed, I have to say. They like you can get like packs and you can open them. It's essentially, they've done a very good job of replicating the actual like trading card experience. Here you can see like, oh, that was cool. And then, you know, they do go for a lot. I mean, like some of the original ones go for tens of thousands of dollars. But what was funny was when this first started to take off, there was like right around end of January, like things blew up, volume blew up. And there's this issue where you could have, you had USDC, like if you were buying and selling them, you were amassing USDC, but you couldn't withdraw it because the company was so new. They had to go through some like KYC things. And so people were like freaking out about this. And there was like these podcasts where people were like, does Top Shot have the money? Like what, you know, it's a scam. Yeah. Like everything's a scam in crypto. And so I was kind of getting like a little concerned about this because I had, you know, not a huge amount of money, but still it was like, okay, I deposited money in, you'd want it back when you get it out. But what at the time, like you could just see, or like you could just search here for USDC, like NBA Top Shot, because in the actual UI itself, it had like, okay, it was connecting to Coinbase Commerce. Like they're using Coinbase Commerce as their facilitator of USDC. Mm-hmm. So you could see like, oh, actually, like they do have the money. Like it's not a scam. Like they aren't just like making things up. Like you can see all these crazy transactions where NBA Top Shot sends $5 million to a Circle deposit. So clearly they're just like, they have an account with Circle, like they're verified with Circle, or, you know, they're just getting money. And then after, I feel like, so I think around like February, they started like offering withdrawals. So you can see here, like they probably had this huge influx of money into this account because people wanted to cash out. Then you can kind of just track like how they're doing over time. So you can see like, okay, this just steady increase of USDC for NBA Top Shot. So it's like they have the money, they're good for the money, and they're growing their business like pretty quickly between this. Like this was like a crazy time in April. So you can see like this just like huge growth and kind of like tapers off here. But it's kind of like using Nansen in a creative way of like auditing actual protocols.
Yeah, because you wouldn't really be able to do this for like a Web2 company. That's why on-chain data is so amazing. You can actually see, like you said, you can see that they've got the money because, like, as we know, like just Web2 businesses or traditional businesses, you don't ever really trust their finances or whatever. So in this, you don't have to trust them. You can see it.
Yeah, you have to wait 90 days for them to tell you. It's like, who knows if they're actually telling the truth? Yeah, exactly. You can also then do this for what I was doing the other day was then you can say, okay, you can search for like protocol treasuries. So one of the ideas here is, you know, as crypto prices just tank and tank and tank, what you would want to do is you'd like one investing strategy, never financial advice, you know, you'll only lose money if you listen to me, is to see, okay, which treasuries have, you know, a lot of USDC or USDT, because in theory, like, let's say if a protocol traded for like $20 million market cap, but they had like $15 million of USDC, it's a pretty good deal, in my opinion, right? Because they could just close the protocol down and they would have, you know, $15 million. So just by going to USDC and token God mode, you can then like filter here for treasuries. And you can see like all these treasuries here. So Strips Finance, Maple Finance. So ArcX is a it's like a DeFi passport protocol. And I believe that their like total market capitalization is like $8 million or something along those lines. But you can see they have $5 million of USDC. So if you think about like risk reward, you know, if this is an active protocol, obviously like do your own research, you know, you can figure these things out. But if this is an active protocol and they have $5 million of USDC, like they're in a pretty good position. Even if they don't shut down like, let's just say they keep developing and like, you know, they have enough money to pay people, they have enough money to offer incentives. So you're kind of like trying to find value in different protocols just by filtering out.
Yeah, I think this will be more common as this like downturn continues, which probably will, as a guess. The way we see like their treasury is actually lower than their market cap. I remember thinking a similar thing before when I was like trying to time, it's so stupid, but I was like trying to time the bottom of OHM to like in and out, basically trade it. And I remember looking at their treasury thinking like, oh, their treasury is huge and the market cap is like obviously diminishing rapidly. At such a point I was like, oh, I'll try and swing trade. But yeah, if I give you the inverse, that didn't work. So it doesn't always work.
Right, it doesn't always work. I'm going to show you like Rook protocol. But it's kind of like this margin of safety where, you know, like in the worst case scenario, like let's just say the protocol dissolves and someone has a governance vote, you may just get this money back. It may not be the case. I mean, the devs could just steal the money or you know, hopefully it's in some like Gnosis safe wallet or something like that. But like you can, and I think Rook of Rook protocol shows up here, where they have this like huge treasury and they have like USDT, USDC, they have, you know, tens of millions of dollars, but the, you know, the protocol itself is trading at, you know, $45 million. So it's kind of like, okay, so here you go. So trying to think about like now that we're in this downturn, or now that, you know, farming opportunities have dried up, or, you know, making money isn't as easy as it used to be. How do you then, you know, use Nansen to kind of, so here you can see, I think they moved some USDC, but actually you can see that they did. You can see like the Rook protocol. You can also do this with like wrapped ETH, right? You can go token God mode and wrapped ETH, because here Rook owns about $7 million of wrapped ETH. So there's a lot of different ways you can do this. I think they moved USDC recently, but once again, we're like auditing. We're kind of like auditing the Keeper DAO treasury because we're seeing like, okay, where are they putting their money, or where do they move their money?
Just out of interest, is that NBA Top Shot? Like, I am such a NBA noob. I'm from England. Is that actually like official NBA, or is that like somewhat licensed?
They have the exclusive license with the NBA for like the video content. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, sorry. So I think they did move some. Yeah, they moved some USD somewhere. Maybe they bought some Rook back, but yeah, you can see this like right on chain, sending some data. So yeah, getting back to Top Shot, like that's one of the, since they have the exclusive, no one else can do like, they have like a monopoly on that type of market.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it's perfect.
It'd be interesting to see how they're doing in this downturn, because it's like tradable cards. I guess tradable cards will always have value. You might actually be in a better situation. Famous last words. We'll probably check that they've all gone to zero.
Right, exactly.
But it seems like a bit more of a unique situation rather than just like art NFTs or PFPs and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, and you'd think like they would incorporate some, like if you go to the game, you get a special thing, a hot dog, I don't know, a shirt, if you have like a rare collectible or something like that. So this filter feature, you can just essentially keep going, because you can then search for like, this is just limited by your creativity, really. So now we're like sort of like building on, we're doing some like building blocks of like, okay, this doesn't work here, but you can see like, okay, using different features of Nansen. So like, let's say there's new labels. So private sale investor comes up a lot. And this is like one of the labels that was recently introduced. Here, we're going to say like, okay, well, let's look at private sale investors and let's see like where they're putting their USDC. So this person here, they have a balance of $5.5 million, probably going to deploy it somehow. In the last 30 days, they've received 3.5 million. 7 days, they've released 43,000. Maybe you set a smart alert for this person, because maybe they're just getting ready for to send money to some sort of like Gnosis safe to a new team or something like that. They have a lot of different stable coins, so Frax, USDC, USDT. So maybe you just, set an alert for this person, because clearly like this money has to go somewhere. They could just put it back to FTX or something like that. But okay, so here you can see like, okay, they've participated in the 88 mile per hour vesting. Seems like they've done something with Integral, big data protocol. You can, good way to set like alerts here for, trying to see like what these people are doing.
I think we like tried to kind of mention that last week as well, that like you can have you can find these wallets that have now kind of gone into stables, and now by using Nansen in this kind of bear market period, you can, like you just said, add them to your watch list or smart alerts, and then you can follow to see where they deploy it. Because it's unlikely, especially if they converted from whatever, some altcoin into USDC, eventually they're going to move into something else. So you want to be there watching for when they do that. And like, where is the best place to do that? It's Nansen. Although I'm slightly biased, but yeah.
Here, another one I've been doing, and I haven't found anything interesting yet. And GM Nelson, you're a legend too, buddy. Is filtering for Gnosis safe proxies. So and then sorting by first in. So this is, I haven't found anything yet. I think it's just a matter of time before I find something. The idea here is that a Gnosis safe proxy gets created and someone puts like, okay, so I don't know if this is going to lead us anywhere, but someone creates a Gnosis safe proxy, probably like to raise money for a token, or maybe they're doing like a secondary round. And then the safe proxy gets created and people like transfer money in, something like that. So here, and I have not seen this example before, like you could go in and see like, okay, well, who's funding the Gnosis safe originally? It comes from Coinbase 3. Where is this $5 million coming from? It's coming from this address. So then you can kind of like go back and say like, okay, well, who is this person that is funding this Gnosis safe? And then you can kind of use like Wallet Profiler to see, okay, is this like a fund? Is this someone who's funded Gnosis safe proxies before? So this could be just like an exchange, like Coinbase itself probably is.
Yeah.
But like you can kind of get a sense of like, okay, well, maybe this person is like, maybe this is a Coinbase institutional account or something like that. And you kind of just can follow these like Gnosis safe proxies as they get created to see like, okay, is there like something interesting going on? I have been trying this for 2 weeks. I have not found anything interesting yet, but it's really just a matter of time before.
That's what I do as well. I find something I feel like, oh, that's quite interesting, and then you just follow it and follow it. Like I've seen so many times where a wallet gets funded by a wallet, and then it goes on for like 5 or 6 or 7, and I'm like, I keep going back to Nansen. I'm like, I'm going to find out. You're like trying to find out if we have a label for one of them. I remember writing that thread on the Jump Capital and like seeing Jump Capital, and you're like, oh, okay, and then it all makes sense. So you just have to like keep at it.
Exactly.
This is kind of unrelated, but I saw the other day, I think someone mentioned it on Twitter, so I went on Nansen to look about staked ETH on like the movement from a 3AC wallet. And I watched this one. I don't know why they do this either, but it was like 3 Arrows Capital moved for them not much. I think it was like 15 million, maybe 50 million staked ETH, but they moved it from like one wallet to the other, to another, to another, to another. I think it was like 7 down the line, which was then a fresh wallet. But even that, I know it doesn't tell you much at that point. But then I set like a smart alert,
yeah,
see what they then do with it.
So that's actually a good example because I think one of the reasons why they do that is actually to fool Nansen people. Because let me show you an example. This is sad how much data I look at. I like know exactly what to do. So 3AC was an investor in Rook a while back, and so Rook launched something called XRook, where you can deposit Rook and get like interest on it. So if you go to Token God node and then put Rook in, you can see like, okay, who owns Rook? So Polychain, Maven 11, Treasury, we just looked at that. This liquidity pool V4 is where like XRook is. So if you go to top depositors, because in theory you're depositing Rook in and you're getting XRook, you can see that there is someone very boring at the top, right? EIP 1559 user. So they deposited 50,000 Rook 30 days ago. If you just come in here and you just look at that, you're like, oh, this is really boring. But of course, I'm gonna like make a chart that's maybe like boring is interesting or something like that. I think that's like Nansen's new like tagline. Also, let's see what's going on. I say that like half the time. This wallet, 3 Hours Capital had Rook. They just transferred it to this wallet. But so it just shows up here as I don't think they may have pulled it out, but like you can get the idea that they're just like trying to just either fool these things or just like maybe it's a compliance thing. But if you can see, it's like really basic because And it's even labeled on Etherscan.
Yeah.
So they're not really fooling anyone. So yeah, they're capital in to this empty wallet,
Mm-hmm.
and then they just go to XRook, and it looks like
if you weren't following them from the start though, and they just put it into a fresh wallet, it kind of acts as like hiding, doesn't it? It doesn't act as hiding for like me and you because
exactly.
we spend too much time tracking random wallets. But to like, if you just logged into Nansen one day, saw that transaction, like you said, you wouldn't notice it.
Exactly. Yeah. And so now they've like put it back into FTX. So they've probably sold it. Sorry, Rook.
Well, I see a lot of that with FreeAC though, like onto exchange. Yeah. So probably selling a lot of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
But the thing with FreeAC though is like you see a big transaction, like millions of dollars, but that is such a small percentage of their actual portfolio or their fund. So it's not really things to panic about most of the time. Because like if let's say I sold 0.5% or whatever of portfolio, it doesn't feel like anything, but to them, yeah, it's like still millions of dollars.
Yeah, and you don't know who's making the decision and things like that. So you can also then do this for like things like AVAX. So if you like now we're just seeing, okay, cross-chain stablecoin. So AVAX is stupid and it has much to USDCs, but here, like we're kind of getting our own version of like DeFi Llama on a contract specific version. So what I like about kind of like using both tools together is like, yeah, DeFi Llama is great. Everyone uses it, love it. They show you as like a top line level from a, just like a protocol level. Here, you can really dive into like the actual like contract specific, like who has USDC. So here, like if you filter just like 30 days of people coming in and out of AVAX, like it's extremely ugly. So like Platypus here has lost $120 million in 30 days. Like Trader Joe Pool, GMX a little bit, Alameda seems to be pulling money out. So you can kind of then get a sense of like, okay, what protocols are people pulling money from on AVAX and like where are they putting them to? The thing that's like kind of jumps out to me, and like despite the fact that I'm long AVAX, like this is a little concerning to me because you can see like people pulling a lot of money out of these protocols, but it's not going anywhere. Like this is probably an exchange. Like maybe it's going a little bit to, like it's not going anywhere. So either people are putting it to an exchange, they're like bridging it out of AVAX. You can kind of see that if you go to like the AVAX bridge, you can see there's like, we can probably just do that. There's sort of like a massive like withdrawals from the AVAX. So just by using token God mode for USDC, and then you can do like USDT as well, it kind of gives you like this overall health of how the chain is doing just by going in there. So you can also do USDT, and this doesn't look pretty as well. But what like an opportunity here, like if you're a VC fund, I think it's still using USDC. Like once again, Platypus, like they're losing about $60 million. Yeah. If you're a VC fund, if you're a Platypus, it's like, okay, how can we stem these? Like, how can we stem this liquidity route? I have a suspicion that a lot of VC funds that like raised before the crash or, have extra money lying around are going to come in and like swoop up these cheap assets. This is like total speculation. Do not listen to me, not financial advice. But, things like Platypus are down like 98% since the peak. If you were a VC fund, you could come in and like maybe like, hey, buy some platypus, put some money into this USDT pool and say like, hey, we're behind the protocol. It's great, blah, blah, blah. Price goes up or something like that. Yeah. This is exactly what happened in the 2008 financial crisis, where these like banks just got hammered. Like Berkshire Hathaway, all these like funds came in and said like, okay, here's some money. We're going to try and prop you up. And depending on like who was propping up who, one showed who eventually made it, but two, like, it's kind of like, okay, this short-term trading catalyst. Mm-hmm. So I'd be kind of like watching these protocols that have been falling a lot, that have venture capital funding already, because maybe they'll do another round or something like that to sort of like boost what they're doing. But then, if you look at, like AVAX transactions have starkly declined, which is astonishing to me.
They got hit hard by this whole Terra implosion, right? Avalanche.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that didn't help.
I think most people, and I can kind of understand it, are probably going into stables on ETH, like getting off these chains.
Yeah. I also want to answer a question from last week that I hear all the time. And the question is, of course, my computer. It's just, the question is like, does Nansen, how can I see small transactions, or just like Nansen? Like, showing out there. Yeah. So obviously, like if you just go, Nansen just uses like the top 2000, I think it's the top 2000 pages. So then they just show the top accounts, because obviously this would be a lot of data to load. But what you can do, so I can prove this to you that all the data is there. So you can see like, okay, typically, this is of like 950 results or something like that. You can actually just go to token movements in diligence, and you can just put in like, let's do USDC. And then you can just say, okay, start date yesterday, end date today. This will take a little bit to run because we're pulling on a lot of data. But if you like, let's say you just got up every day and like, we're curious about like where USDC is flowing to on a very small amount, this will show you a lot of results. It will show you too many results. I tend to think like not that much interesting happens in the like the 50 to 100,000 range. But here you can see like, okay, if we just filter this, if we just sort this by, you can see, okay, a lot of money flowing here, right? These are just exchanges like reshuffling. Actually, this is good that we found this, because the earlier we were talking about like exchanges. We were surprised that exchanges didn't have as much money as we thought. But like this is just Coinbase, so they're just like reshuffling 75 million around.
Yeah, because you'd imagine Coinbase probably have most
billions,
just under Binance maybe.
Exactly. So this is like a tip. There's like a trick right here. If you want to see like small USDC flows, so if we're just sorting by amount, this does like most to least. So if you just go in the middle, right? Okay, this person got $64,000. So like the data is all there. Like I don't work for Nansen. I'm not hiding data. They're not hiding data. Like you can see all these like transactions of like $59,000. Like this guy got 59,415. But there's like a lot. I mean, there's like, I'm clicking very fast. Like you can see like there's a lot of things here.
Yeah. I think the question last week from memory was like, why don't we show like 1,000 or 500? But like it would be like I think Nelson said last week, the data would take forever to load on the page, and you'd also have like so many pages of data.
Yes.
So it's not really efficient to do that.
And honestly, it's not that interesting. But like, let's say, like, I don't know why Alameda would ever like transfer $1,000 at a time. But like eventually, if they just did that like every day, it would show up. Like, okay, here, like you have like Alameda, 250,000. I mean, you could see like what they're doing, but it may not be that interesting. Or maybe it is. Like maybe they're like buying $250,000 of a token. So there's definitely ways that you can sort of hack around this and see like these pretty like these $50,000 transactions. I don't know if anything interesting is going on like the $1,000, $2,000 range, but there's definitely like 50,000. I think is a good.
Let's. By the way, Albert, I'm realizing the time. I could probably talk about stablecoins for ages as well. Let's look at some NFTs.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we've got Arbitrum NFTs as well.
Oh yes, this is good. So actually, something I was looking at Arbitrum NFTs the other day. I really don't know anything about this ecosystem.
I know some. I've had discussions with some people, like on the Treasury DAO team.
Do you know what's going on here? Why is there so many mints?
Oh wow, no. Must be a new collection or something. I don't know, sub collection. I don't know. That's interesting. I have no idea about that.
So yeah, I came here the other day because I was just like poking around. And I'm trying to like come up with like NFT metrics like for myself to use because I'm a relative noob to the NFT landscape. So one of the things that I'm looking at is like mint to like secondary trading volume. So like, okay, how many in a week? Like, let's just look at a given week. Like, what's the ratio of like people minting to secondary sales? Because you'd want to see like a healthy number of mints. Like here, this like 10-to-1 ratio. Like I don't know if that's as good or bad. I mean, you could go to ETH and actually see it. But like you'd want like new mints to come in, right? Because you'd want to keep people happy. So when I saw this, I was like, what? This is like literally the opposite of what's going on here.
I'm trying to look on Twitter. I can't see anything. There's like Shogun War. I don't know. We just don't know enough about it. There must have been some release.
Yeah, something like that. But pretty good, like overall, just like good. I mean, you're definitely higher than like December and February. Increasing here.
Yeah, and then on Arbitrum, we do have some new labels. I think it was a couple of days ago, actually. New smart money segments. We got smart NFT trader, hodler, and early adopter. So they should be showing up, which should be really helpful.
Let's see if we can find one.
I think I have an example in my notes.
Oh yeah, here we go. Let's see if this is well, here we go. So yeah, here we're just looking at like you have a lot of smart money and small brains actually. Okay, yeah, here you go. Smart NFT early adopter. Let's just click on this person. What's going on? This is very nice actually, because if you don't want to pay like, okay, smart NFT trader. If you wanted to, like, gas is even at 50 to like mint an NFT or to like, I think I did a gem swap the other day and I paid like, $180 in gas. Like, it's still a lot of money. It's like, even if I'm not rich, but it's a lot of money. Like I could do something with that money.
Gas was like single digits this morning. I actually bought an NFT. Well, I minted one.
I bought an NFT the other day, and we may be able to find me in blockchain.
I think it cost like nothing. It was like $9 or something.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, under $1. Sending some ETH, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah,
it's sign of the times.
Yes, I did send ETH the other day to myself, and it was like $1. And I almost screenshotted it.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of work for people to do here of, now there's these new labels in Arbitrum. like it's if like if you're priced out for, I mean, I'm priced out, to be honest, like a lot of times at the gas, to see like, okay, like what are these smart money labels doing? Because obviously gas is a lot cheaper here. So I think these are definitely helpful. I think I've said this before, but like once Nansen sort of like releases new labels, you can then kind of like go back and just sort of like do your own due diligence around like, okay, is this someone I should be following on ETH, on Arbitrum, like everywhere.
I think it's important as well. Like for me personally, when I see that we now have these labels, I think it's such a good representation of like why labels are so important, why we want people to label as well. Is that it now incentivizes you to kind of take a look at it more. So now I am more interested in looking at Arbitrum NFTs because you see, oh, okay, there's loads of money involved. So then you start looking at it as well. And I think we put a tweet out the other day as well about labeling collections, because some collections we don't have labeled. So there's an incentive to label your collection on Nansen, because then people see it, people will be more interested, and they'll see hopefully smart money buying. So it kind of acts as like a marketing tool for these.
Exactly. Yeah, I like that. And then I think I was talking to the other day about like just labeling people in the collection. Like if you come to a collection and no one is labeled in it, like it kind of helps you to like label the people there. I like that.
Yeah. Do you want
to sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you want to look at these goblins that I missed on? I feel like, did you miss out on them?
No, I did not miss out because I don't have a life, so I didn't miss out on it. It worked out for me.
Well, I saw so many buys on the weekend. I think it was Saturday or Sunday. I was just trying to find content. I was like, oh, okay. And I saw goblins. I was like, okay, it's probably promising because I know we're in GoblinTown market.
I have disappointed so many people in my life, and Saturday night was no exception because I saw someone buy like 75 of them. So something I've been doing recently is just coming to NFT Paradise and just filtering for sweep, just to see like, okay, who's buying. Or actually, I think so I come to Smart Money. So I'm like coming to NFT Paradise, coming to Smart Money, because I don't have an edge in the NFT market. So I heavily rely on Nansen to help me dearly. And what I'll do is I'll just come and filter for like sweep and buy. And the reason why I'm doing this is twofold. One is I have tended to see that Smart Money Sweepers are going after lower priced NFTs.
Yeah.
Like with my experience level, I can't afford to buy a doodle, but I'm not going to buy a doodle. Like I have no idea what I'm doing. So by coming here, like you can see, okay, Duck Yacht Club, right? This could be a joke, but it's only, it's 0.075 ETH. I'm like, here people are buying, oh wow, someone bought a RumbleKong. We could probably, if we have time, it can track me down. It's from an on wallet, so sorry, people. I did it purposely because I knew I may have saw me on the show. So what tends to help is one, these like tend to be smaller in size. So if I lose, $150 or $200, it's not like the end of the world. Like it's still bad. It's like there's still a lot of money, but it's not 20 ETH or it's not 5 ETH or it's not 8 ETH, right? So sweepers tend to buy like smaller amounts, and then because they're like probably trying to flip it, which is fine. I don't mind that. But what happened on Saturday afternoon, my time, was that someone had literally swept the floor of 75 goblins, and I was like, wow, okay, I've never seen someone sweep that many goblins before. And I was like, okay, like let's just buy. Like I think I bought one. I honestly bought I think I bought two. Sorry, at 0.26 ETH, right? So, like I'm not gonna lose my house, over this. So I came here to NFT Paradise. I filtered for sweepers, and just every single page was this one person buying goblins. So my next idea is, okay, if someone's buying a lot of goblins, like I'm gonna buy one because Smart Money is now owns like a lot biggest percent of it. But I'm gonna just then send a smart alert for this person because I want to know when they're selling it. Because if I'm buying because this person is buying, I also want to sell because this person's selling, right? Like I'm following them exactly. So I came and I set a smart alert for this person, and before I bought, I'm not just blindly following this person. I came to this feature, and I've been using listings a lot, this new feature a lot, and I'll tell you a couple reasons why. One is you can see like, okay, the percentage listed here. So what I like to do is I like to compare what collections, like what's the percent of total is listed versus other collections. So GoblinTown was like, I think it was like 12%. And you can actually see it here. What's today's date? Yeah, you can see like, I think it was actually less. I think it was like, at the time that I bought it was like 9% of listed. And so you can see like other new collections were like in the 18 to 15% range. So you can kind of like tell or get like a little indication that people are holding on to it. Like they're not, like, it's not like if this was 50% listed, like no one wants it anymore, right?
No.
Like, yeah. So that was like a very positive sign. The other positive sign was like I came to here and I just like filtered Smart Money and no one was listing their goblin on Saturday afternoon. So it's like, okay, from a risk reward perspective, somebody just bought 75 goblins. No one's listing it. No Smart Money are listing it. Yeah, this is a good buy. So I bought. And then I got an alert, luckily not at 2 a.m, that this person was like dumping them. I was like, okay, well, now it's time for me to dump, right? But what's interesting is when I came back here, when I was going to sell it, there was a lot more Smart Money selling. So when I first bought it, no one was listing their NFT. Now there's a lot more people listing. Yeah. So you kind of have to be flexible with this.
I can't believe I didn't buy it. It was the most obvious, like you just described, it was the most obvious play. I think in NFTs, you just have to like reorganize your brain. And I still haven't done it. Like, I've been doing this for a while. I still can't get over how ugly they were. So I was just like, in my head, stupid reasoning where I'm like, if it's so ugly, I don't want to hold it to 0 because it feels like embarrassing. I'm gonna own but you have to kind of like reset your brain that it doesn't matter really most of the time what it looks like, especially if you see a lot of Smart Money buys. It's kind of sometimes worth a go, especially for the low cost.
Yeah, exactly. And so one of the things I was looking at the other day is I just always wanted to buy a RumbleKong just because they're kind of cool. I like basketball. It's like my advanced analytics right there. This is not me. So the data doesn't look great. I'm going to be completely honest with you. But you can see what was like very intriguing to me was only like 2% of the collection is listed. And there's really like not a lot of collections listed in like the 1 ETH range. So like if there's some positive news about RumbleKong or, like people could scoop this up very quickly and like it goes to, 1.3. Yeah.
I think what really surprised me, and I have to say, like, I sold my NFTs kind of like a month ago or something or I think just over, because I was like, I didn't like the look of the kind of macro outlook. But what has surprised me is I did expect that there would be like no liquidity, so there'd be no buyers. But maybe it's not for all collections. But I've been surprised by how kind of little sellers there are so far anyway. So you do see a lot of this situation where the floor is very thin and could easily be swept. It's just at the moment there are no buyers, unless it's like a new mint or something. But but yeah, there hasn't been this kind of cascade of selling in an NFT. So people obviously have faith in it, or they just feel like they can hold kind of through this kind of downturn. Yeah, but I just found it quite surprising. I knew there'd be kind of little buyers just because of the kind of confidence in the market, but quite not as many sellers as I thought.
Yeah, it's held up pretty well.
Mhm.
I am trying to find myself. Is this me? I don't know. I'm here somewhere. I bought a jersey RumbleKong, so you can find me.
Your tweet, I remember.
I'll dox myself on. Really, like my just goal is to be like labeled as El Barto here. That's like really my goal.
You just
in life.
label yourself.
Yeah, I just label myself. Yeah, I'll just leave after go in. But yeah, like you can see, like okay, well, like what are Doodle listings, right? So you can kind of just do like this general back of the envelope, just okay, Doodles listings. I think this is like, this is just needs to update, but this is like okay, so 647 Doodles listed. So, but I still need to like figure out a strategy here. Is like price is coming down for Doodles, but listings are also going down. So it's like kind of like you're getting, or they're kind of staying flat. You're kind of like getting out. You're kind of like weeding out the short term. Yeah, I mean, Doodles is going to get to a point where I'm going to start like El Barto Doodle DAO, and people like we can just buy a doodle like, via a DAO. Or we can like rotate using it somehow. I don't know. DM me if you're interested.
I really like Doodles as well. I am also priced out of them.
Well, if you want to get into El Barto Doodle DAO, we're now accepting admissions.
We got a question.
Yes.
What do you think about Otherside numbers?
Honestly, we can take a look at it.
Isn't the floor below min, or have I just completely made that up? I don't really look at Otherside, I have to say, but I thought the floor was a lot lower than I expected.
Yeah, let's take a look. Typically, like what I'm looking for now, and this is like advice by someone who's only lost money in NFTs, is so obviously like okay, is smart money like buying here? Are they like buying the dip? What is like looking at listings, like how many people have listed it? Do we know Focus Pocus? Do you know what the floor price was, or sorry, what the mint price was?
Let me see if I can find out.
Okay, because you're kind of like, I think this is probably like macro level, just like Terra in general, or actually no, maybe not. But like the floor has definitely dropped in the last couple of days. Obviously, don't see many people, like there's not a lot of smart money coming in. If like, let's say if you had like a smart money buyer come in and kind of like swap the floor or something like that, that I would. So you have about like little more than 10% listed.
I think it was, this might be right. It looks like it was priced in ApeCoin. So it was 300.
Oh, okay.
305 ApeCoin, which at the time was about 6,000. So
okay,
now it's about
2.3
ETH. Yeah.
Okay, so 2.5 ETH. So like we're right around the break-even point. Is that? Am I doing this math correctly?
Yeah, it's about that.
Yeah. So, it's a different one.
I think the problem is you don't know, or I don't know when the game's coming out, so you kind of just sat on your hands on it for a while. Maybe they're just thinking they just like wait it out until the game gets more news. I did see a video of it, like a demo or something of this metaverse that they're planning. It did look very good, I have to say. I'm not the biggest ape lover or whatever, but it did look very good.
Yeah, I mean, like overall, like I'm not just like purely looking at analytics. Like you kind of like this is to be expected, right? Like people are just trying to flip here when it first comes out, because I know there's like gas things and whatnot. So you're kind of like leveling out here in terms of like listings. So you probably like have soaked some long-term buyers in. But I think there definitely need to be like a catalyst, like you said, of like something needs to come out, for the price to,
Do we want? Yeah, I was
sorry,
just
go ahead.
Because we're like running out of time.
Yeah.
Do you want to? Because I've got time. It's fine. Just go over the Airdrop Pro labels.
Yeah. So very quickly, the way that I've been using Airdrop Pro labels is I'll see like what like if there's of course this doesn't work. If there's a like airdrop that people know about or something like that, or if there's like one that's suspected, like Hop Protocol, people have been talking about this for honestly longer than crypto's been around for. But what you can do is like, let's say you have USDC, right? You can see who's depositing into this wallet. And the idea here is that you would want to see like either Airdrop Pro or something like that come up into this wallet, because then you'd know like, okay, maybe actually let's just do like maybe you'd want to see that like other airdrop people are in it, like because they think that either the opportunity is great or like there's a high probability of getting an airdrop. So what I've been doing is just like coming and just seeing like, okay, you just find the wallet, like the contract address, and then you can see like in counterparties too, like who is interacting with it. So like, let's say here there was like the number one person was like an Airdrop Pro label. That would be like pretty significant to me. So like right now there are 2 people that are like airdropping into this contract. That's how I've been kind of using it right now. And then you can kind of track these people and see like, okay, what else are they doing? Not like a lot of money, 27. I mean, well, it's a lot of money, but you know what I'm saying? It's not like $10 million in here. So like, I don't know how much money I would put in here given like the situation. So that's kind of how I've been using airdrops.
That's the problem with these airdrops, is you don't know how much you actually need to put into them to get anything significant back,
Yeah, exactly.
ENS was like the best in that terms, wasn't it? Where you didn't really have to do much and still got very significant amount back.
Yeah. I mean, clearly the game has changed now. So, yeah. But shout out to the Hop team for doing the Sybil. They offered people Hop tokens if they could find people gaming the airdrop. And
okay,
I had a tweet thread about how I went about finding people, so people can find that.
I imagine there's a lot. I think people probably are quite desperate for an airdrop at the moment.
Yes, nowadays they most certainly are.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's everything covered. Whereas probably not everything covered, but as much as we could in 1 hour. So I think that's probably a wrap for today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, give the video a thumbs up and share with everyone. Remember to subscribe, turn notifications on. There's a Nansen Lite link in the bio if you want to sign up for free and give Nansen a try. And yeah, I think that's it. Alberto, is there anything you'd like to say? You want to give your socials?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter, Alberto Crypto. I'm in Discord. We're all gonna make it, people. We're all gonna make it.
We need to hear that now.
Yeah, exactly.
So thank you, everyone. Hopefully we'll see you next week. That is it. Bye-bye.
Peace out.